when we were in San Francisco, when you were talking about where you were feeling offensively, you said you were working through a few things. Now when you have a 3-hit game, including the home run, how would you describe where you're at the plate right now?
サンフランシスコと比べて今のバッティングの状態はどうですか？
昨日あたりからちょっとずつ良くはなってるかなとは思うので、もう少し我慢しながら改善したいなと思ってます。
Started to head in the right direction yesterday. I just have to be a little bit more patient throughout.
What do you think has been the biggest difference for you to get the results then?
一番の違いは何だと思います？
やっぱ構えが一番だなとは思ってるので、それが全ての始まりですし、そこが整えばもう少しいい打席が送れるなと思ってます。
Yeah, everything's about the posture. If that's locked in, I feel like everything else will follow.
12 runs for the offense yesterday, 6 today. Does it feel like this group is getting back on track?
大得点ですけども、打線が復帰したんですかねと。
そうですね、もっともっといい点の取り方もできると思うので、ピッチャー陣も素晴らしいですし、いい試合が今のところ多いなとは思ってます。
It's a really good way of manufacturing runs, and we really have a really good pitching staff, so I trust them as well.
Talk about the pitching staff. Justin Robleski, 6 shutout innings. The pitch count got high early. What is it like, though, just being a pitcher and having to navigate through innings when there is traffic and things are probably a little bit tougher?
ロブレスキーも球数多くて調子良くなかったと思いますけども、それでも結果残せたっていうのはどう見てますか？
いろんな球種混ぜながら本当にゾーンアタックいいその雰囲気でしっかりと攻めれてるんじゃないかなと思うので、素晴らしいピッチングだったなと思います。
Yeah, he really filled up the zone with all his kitchen mix. So, he looked really good. Had good presence about him.
Congratulations on this win, Shohei.
Thank you.
Grinding outings for Justin Robleski. He's able to get through the post-6 shutout innings. What have you seen about his demeanor in the first month of the season?
Confident. Today there were 2 stressful innings, a lot of it brought on by himself as far as the walks and things like that, but to, bear down in that first inning and then come back and do the same thing in the second inning. And then after that, he got into a good rhythm and got back to his pitch count. But, for a young pitcher to, go through stress and be consistent and be able to manage stress, limit damage, and things like that, that's certainly a lot of growth. And it's just a sign of a really competent pitcher, and he's done a great job for us. And, early on, I didn't see him going 6 innings shutout, but he found a way to do it.
You talked a lot about Shohei expanding the zone lower. The quality of at-bats overall, the whole series were better, but the results for him to see today, the homer, how rewarding was that for him?
Really good day for Shohei. I think this whole series was good. Getting on base, taking his walks. Then obviously the homer to the big part of the field today with the wind blowing in, and he doubled left on left. And sometimes, the lefty gets you back on line. Being a left-hand hitter, sometimes that lefty gets you back where you need to be. So today, yesterday, really good. So overall, really good series from Shohei.
Did it just look like his swing is kind of back being closer to where he wants it to be?
It is. I talked to him a couple days ago, and he said kind of his setup was a little bit off, and he detected that. And so just the at-bat quality, over the last couple days has been fantastic. And the pitch recognition, offering at the right pitches has been very good the last couple days.
You talked about his pitch selection, how he was expanding. What do you think he did to kind of get back into the mindset where he's looking for a pitch?
I think it was his setup. I think he got his setup, his direction better, and things like that. Yeah. Kirsten, what do you got?
I just wasn't sure if you talked about Justin already, but with him, what is an outing like today when you can battle through 6 shutout innings, especially when the pitch count got up early, there was traffic on consistently? What does it just say to you as to who he is as a pitcher right now?
Confidence, and I think that, so it's the first couple innings, and to kind of have no damage, second inning similar, and then, after that, then he went back and attacking the zone and got some weak contact, and that's what he's done, for us this year, and has allowed him to chip a lot of outs.
As you evaluate his growth, on a day like today, are you kind of sitting there after those first couple innings, curious to see how he would respond and if he could kind of get back into a rhythm?
I think you're always trying to gather information with all your guys, but it's he does find a way to get a strikeout when he needs it, or get a ground ball double play, or get a ground ball or a weak pop up when he needs it. So He's unflappable. He really is. And so if there's things that aren't made, soft contact, a play not made, he still is resilient enough to go back out there and still stay focused on his job.
For just any young pitcher, how much is, when you're trying to prove your staying power in this league, how much does that quality go towards proving that?
It's big. A lot of young pitchers are trying to find their identity. And I think with Justin, the one thing with him is that he knows who he is as a pitcher, and that's important. And then you take your stuff and layer that in on how to get hitters out. And there's real confidence, which I think sometimes young players don't have. But with the confidence, with the success, with the knowing who he is as a player, that's led to that consistency.
Came into this kind of as a placeholder in the rotation for, like Snell, Gavin Stone. What has he proven in 4 starts as far as that goes?
Well, he's proven he's a major league starter because part of it is it's how many hitters can you take on? Can you give your team a chance to win every time you go out there? He's done that time and time again, and so he's good in the sense that he gives us the flexibility to put him in the pen if we wanted to, which we have done, or give him the opportunity to start, which he's excelled at. So it just, I feel great every time he takes the mound. He's prepared, and so when you lose a Cy Young, multiple Cy Young winner in Snell, to have a guy like that fill in, and Emmett and Roki cutting his teeth, it's really raises the floor for our starting pitching. All right, thanks, guys.
Mickey, when you look at just this offense, yesterday you guys put up 12 runs, today 6. You were able to get things going early in this one. How are you just seeing kind of this group get back together, really getting back to your true selves right now?
Yeah, I think it's all about starting pitching right now, to be honest with you. We're feeding off of that. I feel like I talked to them a little bit right now and how proud we are of the way that they've been throwing the ball. Giving us an opportunity to get back together, and get the offense going. I feel like it's so important when you get a good starting pitching, good defense. They keep the games close for us, and obviously the last couple games are being really good for the offense. But then we got the opportunity to kind of like work on things that we need to work on, and I mean, even when we have Muncy out or Will out, we still have the opportunity to win baseball games, and that's what is important about this club.
When you mentioned the starting pitching, for someone like Justin Robleski, still young in his career, but he's able to grind through 6 innings of work, ultimately 6 shutout innings, even though there's traffic. What does that just say for a young guy like him?
Yeah, he talks a lot about he wanted the opportunity to start. I remember having a conversation with him early in the year. He just wanted to have the chance of see if he can do it. Like having an opportunity to have 6 or 7 starts, and now he's proving that he's ready to take the ball every 5 days. So I'm really proud of him, the way that he kind of like has been waiting for his opportunity, and that's something that he talks a lot about, the dynamics that we have in this clubhouse. Everybody's ready for the opportunity, and I know he's going to be huge for us regardless of the role that he has.
That's it.
Yep.
Thank you. Justin, look, when you look at the numbers today, you ultimately had 6 shutout innings, which was fantastic, but there was some traffic. How did you find just kind of grinding through this outing, still looking for that excellence, but understanding there was some traffic there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first off, I think Rush did a good job back there kind of keeping me in the rails. He did a good job just kind of, I think to collectively we did a good job just kind of, finding that attack there in like the 3rd inning and kind of moving forward. But yeah, we did a good job, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, runners on base, nobody on base. Like, you're still trying to make pitches, and I think more times than not, if you make good pitches, you're going to get these hitters out, and that's kind of what was the game plan. And yeah, we did a good job of it.
Can you just tell me kind of the shift, if there was a shift in mindset or feeling, especially after those first 2 innings and the pitch count got up, and how you were able to just find ways to be a bit more efficient, to allow yourself the opportunity to get deeper into the game?
Yeah, I think it was just attack a little more. I think there was a little bit too much careful those first 2 innings, and we just kind of got back to what I do best, moving forward there. And yeah, we did, like I said, Rush did a great job calling the game from there. And yeah, to get me through 6 was a big deal. And obviously it's always good to get through 6 and get deeper in the game. But I think, had those first 2 innings not happened, we probably could have got a little deeper. So that's a little frustrating, but at the same time, managing that adversity that we had today was good, and it was good to kind of get through those innings clean.
Does that feel like another growth moment for you to not only get through those first couple innings, but then kind of find a rhythm after that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think it's just, again, like I said, it's just making pitches when you need them, and today I made the pitches when I needed to make them, and so that helped us get through those innings. And yeah, obviously you're not always going to do that, even when you make the pitches. Sometimes guys are going to hit them. This is the big leagues. This is the best hitters in the world, so sometimes guys hit them and sometimes they don't. So I think at the end of the day, it's just whether you're in the mindset of attacking or not attacking. I think that's kind of the big thing.
He was just
4 starts each. You and Shohei have pretty much the same stats. What does that say about your status and your performance in the rotation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're throwing it well, but at the end of the day, like, the goal is to go out there and throw up zeros, and however you get to do that, like, we're gonna do it. And yeah, it's great, it's cool, but at the same time, like, I think he would tell you the same thing. The goal is just to go out there and throw up zeros, and I'm so happy that he's doing it. I'm sure he's happy that I'm doing it. I think the starting rotation's doing a great job generally right now, so I think as a group we're doing a really good job of just kind of going after hitters and getting deep into ball games, which I think the past couple of years maybe hasn't been as much, and so it's been good to see, like, Emmett go out there and dominate, and Roki kind of mixing things up now with that newer splitter and throwing the harder one or whatever. So, like, he's just doing, like, everyone's doing a great job, and it's been super fun to watch.
Mickey was just saying that he and you had a conversation earlier in the year where you were just saying, I just want a chance to get 6 or 7 starts and show what I can do.
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
I mean, I think I've been saying that. I think I've thought that, and I kind of, I told that to Mark when they called me this offseason, like, to kind of go over last year. And yeah, I mean, it's, obviously you always want those opportunities, but again, like, that's not something I can control. It's not something that, is in my power. The only things that are in my power is every time I go out there, just making sure I'm attacking the hitters, I'm attacking the zone. And yeah, today I didn't do as good of a job of that, but at the same time, I think, if your mentality is just to get better each time out, the chips are going to fall where they're going to. I think if that's your mindset, you're going to be in a good spot. So yeah, that's a conversation we had, but at the same time, like, it's a great opportunity for me, and I don't take the opportunity lightly. There's so many guys that would kill to be in this spot that I'm in, and have the opportunity to start games here at Dodger Stadium in front of these fans, and just start games for this team in general. It's been super, super cool.
When you look at those starts that you have had, just what are you most proud of that you've been able to showcase?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just feels back to what I did coming up, where it was just, every time I go out there, I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna try to give quality each time out, whether I'm throwing well or not throwing well. I think that's been the big thing, is just every time out, let's see how I can raise the floor of when I'm not my best, like, where I can go. And I think that's kind of what I've been most proud of. I think, I'm just continually making strides each outing, and there's always things you can improve on. But I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm most proud of, is just the continued growth and just incremental small things that probably you don't see on the outside, but that are big things for me. So that's been what I'm proud of, I guess.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Dalton, when you look at just what Justin was able to do today, especially kind of, obviously there was traffic, but how you guys were able to get out of it, navigate those 6 innings of work, what are you seeing just from him, and what do you think was the key for you guys to find ways to kind of get back on track, essentially?
Yeah, I think we were just a little too cute early. Try to be perfect, and it's not him, We recreated the game plan downstairs, and Mark kind of let us know, stay on the attack. And I think that really helped us moving forward. Obviously, it's always a good sign to have your starter go 6. 6 shutout, even better. But yeah, it's just, once again, it's a testament to our starting pitching right now and where we're at. And everyone's doing a great job. Obviously, we're avoiding runs early in the game, getting out of jams. It's good to see. But yeah, we're going to carry it over into next series.
Mm-hmm. Do you look at just kind of this matchup and how, just in general, 9 shutout innings technically,
Mm-hmm.
do you look at this matchup kind of as a really good test for, especially guys in the bullpen, and how you were able to find ways to also get back on track with them, even if there was a runner on, or kind of just that first guy, leadoff guy getting on, but then ultimately you guys being able to come back and shut things out?
Yeah, I think from a personal standpoint for those guys, it's kind of a build of confidence, a little boost right there, and yeah, anytime you throw a shutout as a team, it's a good sign. But yeah, like I said, everybody's kind of doing their part. Everyone's showing up, getting strike one, and then executing put away from there. And it's obviously fun to work with them. But once again, we have to carry it over and continue to do it.
Dave was saying that the best thing about what Justin's done this month is his confidence and knowing who he is as a pitcher.
Yeah.
Who is he as a pitcher?
You said it. Carries a lot of confidence. Trusts every single pitch that he has. He has a lot of them. But like I said, we got a little too cute early on, and it took us going downstairs and kind of recreating the plan a little bit. And new word, attack every hitter, make them get themselves out, and yeah, it worked out for us. For a guy like that, the stuff's so good, so it's just like it's fill up the strike zone early, and you'll get guys to expand as the at bat goes on.
Too cute, just to trying to nibble.
Yeah, just nibbling, and it's easy to do that as a starter for sure, especially if you want to go the distance. You're trying to chase strikeouts, in which I don't think he was doing it at all. He's very confident and competitive person, and if he has the opportunity to be perfect, he's going to make sure he is.
Dalton, Counsell called the AB against Horner in the second inning where Justin was down 3-0.
Yeah.
And then he went 3-0 to Suzuki later, a couple innings later. Can you describe how he came back from those counts to get those guys out in those situations?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I just said. It's just kind of flip the game plan a little bit. You're not trying to find this corner or that corner. It's, hey, I'm going to throw it and hit it if you hit it. If not, we're going to throw it in the strike zone. And I think once we kind of started to establish the strike zone early, as the game went on, obviously we got better results and quicker innings.
How much of who Justin is as a pitcher is him just attacking his own? Is that a guy that's generated a ton of strikeouts, mainly because instead of nibbling, he's been able to so effectively pound the zone?
Yeah, I think he learned a lot about himself. I've obviously got to work with him a lot in the past, and 2024 was a year that I really think he recreated himself a little bit. There's no more like chasing strikeouts. Guys, get him in the box, get him out of the box as much or as quick as possible. And I think ever since then he's obviously excelled so much as a pitcher. But being able to find that as yourself as a player, I think it's very special. And the fact that he did it in 24 and he's only built off of it since then is obviously a good sign.
There were times last year when the offense would go sideways for even like a week, where it might take a little while to get out of it. What's been different about these last 2 days for you guys to get back on track so quickly?
I think we're just taking team at bats. I think we're swinging at the right pitches. We're not getting out of our approach as a team, being aggressive, whatever it is, whatever the situation kind of entails for you. But yeah, I just thought we had some big hits today. I thought we had some good 2-out knocks, taking walks, obviously getting runners on base, creating traffic, and it's a good team over there. It's a team that came in here hot, and obviously it's a really good sign for us to take 2 out of 3 from them.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Hello and welcome to Access SportsNet Dodgers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr., Dontrell Willis. The Dodgers get their 3rd shutout win of the season. They bounced back from what was a really difficult loss Friday night against the Cubs. They win the final 2 games of this series against a Cubs team that came into the series having won 9 in a row. They'd won 10 in a row after Friday, Jerry. Dodgers got 3 runs in that first inning thanks to a 2-run double by Miggy Rowe. Shohei went deep. But the story, pitching side, Justin Robleski wins his 4th consecutive start.
Robo, once again, listen, this guy, obviously, he's a strike thrower. He pounds the strike zone, but he has such confidence when he's on the mound. It's infectious. Dodgers did a great job kind of supporting him with runs, and Robo really took care of the rest.
You know, Robo showed me a lot of his character today because he did not have his best command or his best stuff. He had to make pitches. He had 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. We said, man, this might turn into a bullpen game. But he bared down. He started to find some sequencing, started to find some strikes on the arm side, very important for left-handed pitchers, and then everything was rolling. But this offense really stepped up, and really they took Friday night's loss personal because they said, we let them off the hook. We have the ability to score more runs, and you saw that yesterday and today as well.
And your called shot today was Shohei Ohtani. He hadn't hit a home run in 2 weeks, had a 3-hit day, including a big fly. Let's hear from the Big Show with Kirsten Watson.
Shohei, when we were in San Francisco, when you were talking about where you were feeling offensively, you said you were working through a few things. Now you have a 3-hit game, including the home run. How would you describe where you're at the plate right now?
サンフランシスコと比べて今のバッティングの状態はどうですか？
昨日あたりからちょっとずつ良くはなってるかなとは思うので、もう少し我慢しながら改善したいなと思ってます。
Started to head in the right direction yesterday. I just have to be a little bit more patient throughout.
What do you think has been the biggest difference for you to get the results then?
一番の違いは何だと思います？
やっぱ構えが一番だなとは思ってるので、それが全ての始まりですし、そこが整えばもう少しいい打席が送れるなと思ってます。
Yeah, everything's about the posture. If that's locked in, I feel like everything else will follow.
12 runs for the offense yesterday, 6 today. Does it feel like this group is getting back on track?
大得点ですけども、打線が復帰したんですかねと。
そうですね。もともといい手の取り方もできると思うので、ピッチャー陣も素晴らしいですし、いい試合が今のところ多いなとは思ってます。
It's a really good way of manufacturing runs, and we really have a really good pitching staff, so I trust them as well.
Talk about the pitching side. Justin Robleski, 6 shutout innings. The pitch count got high early. What is it like, though, just being a pitcher and having to navigate through innings when there is traffic and things are probably a little bit tougher?
ロブレスキーも球数多くて調子良くなかったと思いますけども、それでも結果残せたっていうのはどう見てますか？
いろんな球種混ぜながら本当にゾーンアタックいいその雰囲気でしっかりと攻めれてるんじゃないかなと思うので、素晴らしいピッチングだったなと思います。
Yeah, he really filled up the zone with all his kitchen mix. So, he looked really good. Had good presence about him.
Congratulations on this win, Shohei.
Thank you.
We'll have more on Shohei Ohtani coming up. We'll break down his great day offensively. But Justin Robleski, D-Train, we got to start with him because he wins his 4th straight start. And he was battling his command really the first couple of innings of this game. Was having a hard time throwing strikes, had base runners in all 6 innings. But he was able to fight through this one and put up zeros.
You know what? He felt a little amped up to me. And sometimes as a starter, you will feel too good out there on the mound. The mechanics felt rushed. The release point to the glove side was pulled. That's why he was missing a lot. But the life at the top of the zone, he got a lot of awkward swings and was showing the ability to be able to fight back into counts and landing that soft breaking ball. But you saw a lot of swing and miss at the top of the zone in 3-2 counts because guys were trying to rush at the fastball, and then all of a sudden it takes off, can't hold up. But the mound presence and the belief, and credit to Dalton Rushing, he was calming him down. And sometimes you need a catcher like that. Another Dodger guy that I play with in the Marlins, Paulo Duca, was excellent of calming me down and saying, hey, just follow my mitt. We're 1 pitch away of getting out of jams. And Robleski did that all day long.
Nomar said something during the game that's what made Clayton Kershaw so great. He would have great stuff and obviously be dominant. Sometimes he wouldn't have feel for, let's say, his breaking ball, but he'd find a way to battle through and give his team a chance to win. Justin Robleski, and D-Train, you touched on a little earlier, that first 2 innings, he threw 50 pitches. He really couldn't find the zone, really couldn't find rhythm, but what he did, he battled. He scratched, clawed, and figured out a way to get outs until he could find his rhythm and tempo to his game. That's what being a starting pitcher is all about. Because you walk out there all the time. He could have easily said, man, I just don't have it today. Before you know it, the Cubs throw up a 4 or 5 spot. He didn't allow that to happen. He fought, got away with some stuff, and then obviously was able to give us some length in this game. Outstanding job, Justin, man. I'm telling you what, this guy is fighting to stay in this rotation.
And that's one of those intangibles, Jerry, when you don't quite have it out there, but you just find a way. You're like, you know what? I'm going to limit the damage. I'm not going to let these guys score on me.
That's something that you can't compute, calculate. It's the heart. Listen, you can go out there and say, okay, this hitter can't hit a certain pitch, and we're going to use that pitch. Well, guess what? The catcher, like you mentioned, Dalton Rushing, he doesn't have that pitch right now. So we can't really throw that. But what you can do is continue to fight until you find it and allow yourself to pitch the rest of the way. So, again, that's what makes Justin Robleski so special to me. He's been so good when he had his stuff, and also good today when he didn't have his ace stuff. That's a sign of a really good starter.
You know the one thing I love about these young arms, if you talk about Ben Casparius, Emmett Sheehan, Robleski, Hurt, all of these guys have a chip on their shoulder, and they believe in their stuff, and they take it personal. And you see them go out there, when they get out of jams, they show emotion. They believe that they're supposed to be impactful big leaguers on the best team in the world. There's nothing funner than doing that. I was a 21-year-old in the big leagues. I wanted to be impactful. I wanted to go out there and show and prove not only to the other side, but to my own teammates that I was somebody that was valuable in the big leagues. You walk into this locker room and you have Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. These are guys that are all first ballot Hall of Famers. You take it personal to go out there and earn their respect. That's how you do it, by getting out of tough situations, and that's why they're champions.
High-level compete from Justin Robleski. We saw that once again today. Right now, let's head back to the booth. Check in one final time with Joe Davis and Nomar Garciaparra.
Well, a lot to like for the Dodgers today. It might not have been the prettiest outing for Justin Robleski, but he goes 6 scoreless, even with all the traffic, and plenty of offense, too.
Well, good pitchers have to find a way when they don't have their best stuff. Maybe they don't have their perfect command, but they find a way to grind it out, put some zeros up, and still give their team a chance to win. Robo did exactly that, and the offense did enough, put some runs on the board.
So a good series win for the Dodgers. They take 2 of 3 from a playoff competitor for sure in the Cubs. The Marlins come in, and Dodgers try to keep this rolling.
Yeah, hopefully they keep the momentum. It was really good to just win this series, especially after losing a tough series over there in San Francisco, coming in, playing a hot Cubs team, winning that series. Keep it going. Get ready for the Marlins.
All right, game 1 of the series tomorrow night.
All right, Dodgers getting it done on this Sunday afternoon. Let's get right to the highlights. The rubber game between the day shut out the Cubbies 6-0, 19-9 now on the season. Justin Robleski, his 4th win. He's 4-0, goes 6 scoreless on 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. Shohei, a 3-for-3 day, his 6th home run, a double, a walk. He stole his 3rd base. And Miguel Rojas, 1-for-3 with a double and 2 runs batted in. Here's what's coming up on the Dodgers schedule. The Marlins in town tomorrow on Japanese Heritage Night with Yoshinobu Yamamoto getting the start. Tuesday is Women's Night, and then Wednesday, a rare noon start at home. This weekend, Dodgers off to St. Louis. Saturday's game on Fox, the rest of them here on SportsNet LA. A couple of great nicknames carried the load for the Dodgers today. Robo and the Big Show. Plenty more coming up after the Dodgers' 6-0 shutout win over the Cubs. We'll hear from Dave Roberts coming up. Justin Robleski has won 4 consecutive starts. Let's hear from him with Kirsten in the media.
Justin, look, when you look at the numbers today, you ultimately had 6 shutout innings, which was fantastic, but there was some traffic. How did you find just kind of grinding through this outing, still looking for that excellence, but understanding there was some traffic there as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first off, I think Rush did a good job back there kind of keeping me in the rails. He did a good job just kind of, I think to collectively we did a good job just kind of, finding that attack there in like the 3rd inning and kind of moving forward. But yeah, we did a good job, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, runners on base, nobody on base, like, you're still trying to make pitches, and I think more times than not, if you make good pitches, you're going to get these hitters out, and that's kind of what was the game plan. And yeah, we did a good job of it.
Can you just tell me kind of the shift, if there was a shift in mindset or feeling, especially after those first 2 innings and the pitch count got up, and how you were able to just find ways to be a bit more efficient to allow yourself the opportunity to get deeper into the game?
Yeah, I think it was just attack a little more. I think there was a little bit too much careful those first 2 innings, and we just kind of got back to what I do best moving forward there. And yeah, we did, like I said, Rush did a great job calling the game from there. And yeah, to get me through 6 was a big deal. And obviously it's always good to get through 6 and get deep into the game. But I think, had those first 2 innings not happened, we probably could have got a little deeper. So that's a little frustrating, but at the same time, managing that adversity that we had today was good, and it was good to kind of get through those innings clean.
Does that feel like another growth moment for you to not only get through those first couple innings, but then kind of find a rhythm after that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think it's just, again, like I said, it's just making pitches when you need them, and today I made the pitches when I needed to make them, and so that helped us get through those innings. And yeah, obviously you're not always going to do that even when you make the pitches. Sometimes guys are going to hit them. This is the big leagues. These are the best hitters in the world, so sometimes guys hit them and sometimes they don't. So I think at the end of the day, it's just whether you're in the mindset of attacking or not attacking. I think that's kind of the big thing.
All right, Justin Robleski had traffic on those base paths all day long, but you look at the line score at the end of the day, D-Train, nothing but zeros. How was he able to get it done?
That's all that matters. I'm going to take a line that you just said. He was effectively wild. Let's go to the K zone because those mixed results, but the bottom line is as long as nobody touches home plate, that's all that matters. Up and down the zone. I felt like that was a good pitch, lefty on lefty, bad result. But now all of a sudden, he's starting to figure it out. He realizes he has enough life, gets a swing and miss at the top of the zone. overcooked slider, didn't really have a lot of feel of that early in the ball game, doesn't get the result. Now all of a sudden, the fastball to the glove side is not there, but when the back's against the wall, 3-2 count, you get a strikeout up in the zone, and that's where I wanted to see him go. Me and John were watching this game together, and once he started getting that fastball to the arm side, it opened up everything for him. But I am super proud of the mental toughness and makeup of this young man with another young catcher working with him. Sometimes that game can kind of speed up with both of you guys up there. He slowed himself down, started to execute some sequences, and ultimately won this ball game because of the way he executed at the end.
We got to give a shout out to the development people down there, AAA, AA, making sure these guys, when they come to the big leagues, they kind of hit their ground running. We just saw Robo, who did an outstanding job. The first 2 innings, he didn't really have it, but Dalton Rushing, another young catcher right there, understanding, let's calm him down, and we're going to use that riding fastball with 2 strikes, though. Okay, so we're going to use that life, and that's how he's able to get these guys to chase up in the zone with 2 strikes with that fastball. Well done, both Dalton Rushing and obviously Robo.
Will Rhymes, I love that you said that, because Will Rhymes down there on the farm, the pressure that they put on themselves to be able to develop, once they get high draft picks, to develop them to be big league ready and big league impactful. That's why I loved earlier today we got to talk to Kyle Hurd. That was just 2 years ago that I talked to Kyle Hurd and guys like Ben Conspiracians, telling them that they're going to be a big leaguer. They were in A-ball. Now they're in the big leagues right now as champions. And so the development, I agree with you 1,000%. The pressure they put on themselves, the expectation they have every single day, whether it's a position player like Andy Pages or somebody else, they say, we want you guys to be big league ready as quickly as possible, but we're not going to skip any steps, and that's why they're good in the big leagues right now.
One of the many reasons that separates this organization from so many others, the ability to win and develop players at the same time, and we've seen a lot of young guys. Justin Robleski today contributing in a big way. Still more to come. Miguel Rojas began the week with his 1,000th career hit. Just keeps on going. A 2-run double today in a big first inning. Plenty more reaction coming up after the Dodgers blank the Cubbies 6-0. Plus the